What's up, everybody? Y'all come on in. What's up, Portia? What's up, Ty? Y'all come on in. What's up, Pamela? What's up, M-Town? Y'all come on in. What's up, shit? What's up, David? We'll give him another minute, y'all. We're gonna get started. Y'all come on in. What's up, Rupert? What's up, Raquel? All right. How about we gonna get started? They'll come in when they come in. Got a lot of information to cover here. So, this lecture I told y'all gonna come back with a lecture called The Red Hats, exposing the hypocrisies and betrayals of the Moors and what they about. So let's begin. Now, what are the Red Hats? They are known as the Moorish Empire, right? So where does the word Moor even come from? It comes from the Latin Maurus, M-A-U-R-U-S, which is references to the Moors in the European and of African descent, right? The Mauritanians, the who will later on become the Moroccans, the Spanish Moors, and pretty much the Berbers, right? the Berbers are the original, who was the original identity of the Moors. That's what the Roman called them, right? Of North Africa. You see what I'm saying? Of North Africa. So, but they also referred to them as the Mauritanians of the Mauritania district as well, who, like I said, later on become the Moroccan Empire. And of course, the Spanish Moors, who of Cordova, Andalusia, and Granada. You know, Moorish Spain. So, where is the Moorish Empire located? There is basically a Moorish Empire everywhere except mainly East India and Australia and Russia that I know of. See what I'm saying? But for the most part, the Moors touched everywhere else. You see it? So yeah, the only places you really don't see them like that is Australia and Russia, for the most part. But they even touched Asia because the Japanese samurai have a Moorish background. You know, the original Japanese samurai were actually Moors, so they actually traveled there. So they touched there and actually set up the samurai society. What up, Aisha? What up, RJ? So yeah, this is what you got going on now. So who are the Moors? They are originally known as, like I said, the North African Berbers. And the North African Berbers started out as an indigenous group of people, like all indigenous melanated beings, who were conquered by the Arabs, right? And so they originally practiced what they would call Amazigh Auto Chthons, which was their particular indigenous spirituality, right? And if you never seen what the Berbers look like, they look a little something like this. What's up, Alexis? They look like this. The Berbers. Berbers. So yeah, those are the original of what they call Moors, right? That's the original identity before anything else. So, how many factions of Moors are there? Like I said, you had the Moroccan Moors, the Berbers, the Spanish Moors, the Spanish Berbers, and the American Moors as well. We'll get to all that later. The American Moors, and then you had some of the Asian Moors as well. So yeah, so we're gonna get to all that. We're gonna get into all that. Where did the Moors come from? They are direct descendants of the traitorous anarchy, ANAQI, known as the Saturnians and Titanians. That Saturn, and then you got the Titanian, which is the moon of Saturn, right? And so they talk about these tall, black, melanated beings in the book Rings of Saturn who come visit, and those are the Saturnians. See what I'm saying? Saturnians have been working against us for years, feeding off our emotional energy, and they're the ones who mixed in with us genetically, with Earthlings genetically, and produced the Berbers, right? And they will go on to help lead these Berbers into power. You see what I'm saying? Into power. So yeah. Now, like I said, what was the religious affiliation of the Moors? After they were conquered, it was mainly Islam. They also adopted Jewish mysticism. They also adopted Christian teachings, Gnosticism, Hebrewism, Sufism, Zoroastrianism, Persian. That's the Persian dynasties. And if you go further into Asia, you know, the samurai, the shinobi, and all that, they adopted some of their teachings as well, for the most part. So, those are their original affiliations. Like I said, Amazigh Auto Chthons was their original indigenous teaching. Amazigh, you see what I'm saying? So, how long did they rule Moorish Spain? They ruled Moorish Spain for about 700 years. From the 700s all the way up to 1492, where they got their asses kicked by the Christians in Granada. You see what I'm saying? In Granada, and Granada fell apart. How long did they rule North Africa? They ruled on and off over the course of about 1,000 years. You see what I'm saying? About 1,000 years. On and off. You know, Africa was, you know, it was a turbulent land. So it changed power many times between the Moors and the Arabs. So yeah. Now, what made these Moors traitors to us? You see, to their people, to us, to Mother Earth, to the ancestors. Well, what did they do? What's up, Miss Pat? What did they do that pretty much put a target on their back from the ancestors? Like, what are the mistakes they made and refused to correct and even continue to fuck us over as time goes on? Where did it all start? You see what I'm saying? Where did it all start? Well, in the book, the story of the Moors in Spain. I forget about the guy's name, but it's the name of the book. The story of the Moors in Spain. The first recorded betrayal of the Moors to the way of our ancestors is when Hakam II worked to collect over 400,000 philosophical and spiritual works / books and translated them in Arabic for their great library of Cordova in Andalusia, Spain. Right? Then they usurped the Umayyan dynasty by putting in, well, yeah, he was part of the Umayyan dynasty, but he wasn't a true heir to the throne, right? He was part of the family of Umayya, but he wasn't a true heir, and his name was Ibn Abi Amir, Ibn Abi Amir, known popularly as El Manzor, who conspired with the Roman Catholic Church in the event known as the Index Expurgatorius, which is when the Catholics and Muslims got together to burn what they considered to be condemned alchemical occult texts and books publicly. That's the first betrayal of the dirty Moors. You see what I'm saying? That's the first recorded betrayal or fuck you to our ancestors that the dirty Moors fucking did. You see what I'm saying? That was the first event when they conspired with the Roman Catholic Church in this event known as the Index Expurgatorius. You can Google that if you want. Index Expurgatorius, which is when the Catholics and the Muslims got together to burn what they considered to be condemned alchemical occult texts and books publicly. And now Hakam, who was the previous ruler, spent all that time collecting over 400,000 occult, spiritual, and philosophical works for these niggas to come right behind him and burn these texts. And this distorted the Great Library of Cordova. You know, they had built the Great Library of Cordova. He was a genius. They said he was a bookworm, but he was really a genius. His job was, that's why he incarnated to the place. His job was to rebuild a new library of Alexander for the Moorish kingdom. Now, before this period, the Moors had no blood debt with the ancestors. You see what I'm saying? With our ancestors. Before this moment in time, there's no recorded period where the Moors had a blood debt with the ancestors. Alright? Now, interestingly enough, they was even prophesied in the mythology that they would come. There was a great tower. The mythology goes like this. There was a great tower, Tower of Babel. This is where they get the idea from, where it was sealed off. All right, the tower was sealed off, and it was a powerful Christian king at the time in the mythology who finally was brave enough to open the gates to this tower, because he who watches this, his eye, he would be fucked up for life, right? So he goes into the tower and he sees a giant bronze statue with a being holding a mace, slamming the ground. And then what he sees in the statue is a visual representation of the Moors conquering the Christians and producing Moorish Spain. Right? That was the prophecy. So when this happened, you see the Moors actually doing this while he's reading this prophecy. And they go on to conquer more Spain. They take it from the Goths. They take it from the Goths. See what I'm saying? Who had already enslaved the indigenous Grimaldi. You know, because we talking about after the fall of the Roman Empire. So this sometime after the fall of the Roman Empire. So they came in, took out the Goths and all they sectors, and they will set up Andalusia, Cordova, and Granada, and various other locations in the area, and produce the Moorish Empire in Europe. Right? This is what they would do. This is what they would do. So, before this time period, like I said, and they were known originally as the Tariqian Moors, who were the Tariqian Berbers, my bad, who were the ones who conquered the Goths and set up Moorish Spain. If y'all want to know the descendancy here. So now, once you know this, and pretty much the first half of the book is just telling how they gain power. What I was more interested in is what happens once they gain power. You see what I'm saying? So the highlight the high time of their period was during the being by up under the rulership of the Umayyad ruler by the name of Ibn Rahman. If I'm not mistaken. Ibn Rahman III, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully I got his name right. And during his time period, this is pretty much the golden age of Granada. You see, of Moorish Spain. Right? And so his son, also Hakam II, was also, you know, well loved, and he built. He was the one who brought up the learning centers and everything in Moorish Spain. He brought that Moorish Renaissance. You see what I'm saying? But this new nigga who came to town, you know, who rose up, Ibn Abi Amir, this motherfucker here, who was also a Moor. Now, all these beings in Moorish Spain is Moor, whether they black or Moors, brown Moors, yellow Moors, red Moors, or white Moors, because the Moors, you know, they mixed in a lot with a lot of people, so, you know, they vary from black Moor to white Moor, Tunny Moor, right? So they vary in degree and in colors, right? So now, what's going on here is you got these beings showing you how they start fucking up. And when he came to power, he locked away Hakam's successor, and he pretty much took the throne. And Hakam, I think his son name was Hiram or Hirash or something like that. I think it was Hirash. You know, he kind of, you know, he pretty much was in the background for the rest of the time. So this guy, Ibn Abi Amir, known popularly as Alamanza, a powerful general, Moorish general, would take the throne. And during his period, up until he was real popular, up until he conspired with the Roman Catholic Church in an event known as the Index Expurgatoris. This is the first known betrayal that the Berbers did, because they were not supposed to conspire with the Roman Catholic Church. The ancestors was rooting for them because they was bringing the knowledge back to life, the sciences back to life. But when this being, Alamanza, came along and burned the holy text, the spiritual occult text, then that was a fuck you to the ancestors. So that was a fuck you from the ancestors. So this wrinkle in time, this moment in time here, is what led to the Moors losing Spain. You see what I'm saying? Losing Spain. This is what triggered their downfall right here. This event from this point on. So when they lost favor with the ancestors, and lost that seal of approval from the ancestors, they began to fall. So now, which leads to step 2 of the event. Next, when the Moors started losing power in Europe in the 1400s, they began to travel over here to the Americas, where they and their conquistador warriors would begin to conquer the native Incas of South America and Aztecs of Mesoamerica. From here, they would set up Moorish kings/chiefs, and they would go on to enslave the indigenous populations of the Americas. See what I'm saying? So now y'all see what's going on here. So now y'all see what's happening. Now it's all starting to make sense. See, they were losing power from about 1200 to the 1490s when they actually lost power completely. You see what I'm saying? When they actually lost power completely, because they lost Cordova and Andalusia, like in the late 1100s, early 1200s. But they lost Granada, which was the last stronghold, in 1490, like 1490, between 1490 and 1492. And so that's when they lost Granada. This was destined to happen because they were descendants of the Saturnians. As above, so below, who were also traitors. You see what I'm saying? These Saturnians were also traitors to the Anunnaki Empire. You know, they were a rebellious group in the Anunnaki Empire. So their seeds had their rebellious bloodline already in them. So these Berbers, these Moors, these Berber Moors, also known as Blacker Moors, and all the other skin tones of the Moorish paradigm would have this latent rebellious DNA in them. So they never gave a fuck about our ancestors up until that point. So, after the fall of Granada and Moorish Spain in the 1490s, the Moors were then expelled from Spain in the 1500s, where some were forced to come to Africa, but others fled to the Americas. So this is the part of the history they're not telling you. They're not telling you how a lot of these Moors were fleeing fucking Moorish Spain to the Americas. So this is what's going on. And when they came over here, they ain't come over here and chill out and relax. You think they brought their ass over here and had some common sense after they got their own asses kicked in their world, right? In Europe, right? Nope. They brought their asses over here and they started the fuckery all over again. That's when they started killing off Incan kings and Aztecian kings and priests and everybody. And then they usurped them and they put themselves... they made themselves kings and queens of the Moorish kings and queens over the Incans and the Aztec. And from that point on, they will begin to import many different groups of beings from Europe because they were losing the war in Europe. So we gotta go over this, y'all. We gotta go over this. So this is what's going on here. This is what the Americas come into play. So they pure traitors to us. You see what I'm saying? They pure traitors to us because the first thing they did when they touched our land was to plot to overthrow us. Like I said, the conquistadors were Moors. You see what I'm saying? They were Moors. They now in history, the Moors just look brown skin. The conquistadors look brown skin. But in actuality, the royal bloodline were Blacker Moors that they put in power, most of them. See what I'm saying? So the conquistadors who started coming over here early 1400s. So you can't say it wasn't the Moors because the conquistadors were to this day still the Moors were still in power in Spain. So there's no excuses in saying that this was not their fault. You see what I'm saying? The Moors were still in power until 1492. But they came over here conquering the Incas and the Aztecs in the 1400s. So they can't say it wasn't them. They can't say it wasn't them, right? This was all their fault. And so the royal bloodlines were Blacker Moors, or were Berbers. You see what I'm saying? Berber Moors. Tariqian Berber Moors. If y'all need to know exactly who they are. Tariqian Berber Moors. That's who the European bloodline stems from. Tariq, if y'all don't know, Tariq was a powerful general that conquered the Goths who were ruling Moorish Spain, who were ruling Spain at that time. After he conquered the Goths, then they will put in a series of events to reestablish dominance and build Moorish Spain. So the Berbers These Berbers are all stem from the Tariqian bloodline. Just to let y'all know. You know, Tariq is spelled Tarikian. You know, if y'all want to know more about them, get the book, The Story of the Moors in Spain. Y'all just want to know more about them. You know, it's up to you if you want to research this for yourselves. I'm just letting you know what it is. So now, after the Moors conquered South America and Mesoamerica, they then started to send spies into North America. You see what I'm saying? Into North America. See, most of the time when you see the Moors, they talking about Islam. But what they not telling you is the Moors were also Christians. You see what I'm saying? They also, because Moorish Spain was the original hub, melting pot before America. See, the Roman America, as we know it today, is a Roman government. It's based off the Roman system, but it still has a Moorish undertone, as in America was actually, America was actually influenced by the Moors. So it became a melting pot of many different cultures, races, and creed, right? Basically what happened in Moorish Spain, right? So, if they don't believe you that they were Christians at this time, you know, they only focus on the Islamic Moors, but you had Christian Moors too. You had Christian Moors, so check this out. Check this out, y'all.
And he was a black man. This is...
This is the story of Saint Nick. Moorish Saint Nicholas. Santa Claus was a black man. Check this out.
Santa Claus was real, and he was a black man. This is why they want to make you think Santa Claus was purely fictional.
Moors.
The name Santa Claus comes from Saint Nicholas. The name Nicholas means victory to the people, coming from the Greek word Nike, meaning victory, and Laos, meaning people. Saint Nicholas was born during the 3rd century in the village of Patara, in what is now the southern coast of Turkey. He was born of very wealthy ethnic black Anatolians of the ancient Roman Empire. He was one of those ancient and dominant black Moors of Europe. The true history of the Moors in Europe has been hidden by the Gothic Europeans. Nicholas's wealthy parents died in an epidemic while Nicholas was still young. Being a devout follower of the prophet Esau, known as Jesus, he decided to follow the words of Jesus and sell what you own and give the money to the poor. Nicholas used his whole inheritance to assist the needy, the sick, and the suffering. He was made the Bishop of Myra while still a young man. The high office of Nicholas at such a young age speaks to the dominant role played by Moorish black Anatolians and...
Now look at this. Those are crosses. Those are crosses. So you have Moorish Christians.
Africans in creating the church as we know it today.
What was that?
It is a historical... Young age speaks to the dominant role played by Moorish black Anatolians and Africans in creating the church as we know it today.
They created the church.
It is a historical fact that most of the early and very famous bishops of the church, who lived and gave their lives for the church, were either Moorish Africans or of the Moorish diaspora. Bishop Nicholas was known throughout the land for his generosity to those in need, his love for children, and his concern for sailors and ships. Under the Roman Emperor Diocletian, Bishop Nicholas suffered for his faith, and was exiled and imprisoned. After his release from prison, Nicholas attended the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD.
Whoa!
He worked with other...
So the Moors were in attendance for the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD. They ain't telling you this. They ain't telling you this. See, the Moors are already in Spain. See what I'm saying? But they just hadn't conquered it yet. You know, they just hadn't conquered. They was already in Rome and in Spain. You know, remember this is a vast period. They just hadn't conquered it yet. It wasn't until Tariq came along to conquer Moorish Spain, but they were already in Rome and everything. So there was a Christian Moorish presence already in Europe. Matter of fact, it was a Christian Moorish presence in Europe before it was a Islamic Moorish presence. presence in you. You see what I'm saying? So yeah.
Nicholas attended the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, where he worked with other early fathers of the Church to compile the Bible and establish the standardized Christian doctrine of today. He died December 6th, 343 AD, in Myra, and was buried in his cathedral church, where a unique relic, called manna, formed in his grave. The discovery of this liquid substance, which was said to have healing powers, fostered the growth of devotion to Nicholas. He was elevated to the level of a patron saint for children. The anniversary of his death became a day of celebration, St. Nicholas Day, December 6th, which is December 19th on the Julian calendar. The image of Santa Claus that most people are familiar with is based on the Gothic idol Odin. But, for those who have ears and eyes, Odin, the pagan god of the Goths, had nothing to do with and nothing in common with the pious and devout life of Saint Nicholas, the young Moorish bishop of Myra, one of the early fathers of the church.
One of the early fathers of the church. So the Moors created Christianity and made it go boom in the night, go bump in the night. So now it's all starting to make sense, right? So now you got the Moorish saints in Rome, and you got, then later on they will go on to conquer Spain and produce a powerhouse for 700 years. But the Moors are already in Rome, assisting the Romans in building up Christianity. That's why paganism fell out of power. It was the Moors who killed Caesar, the last of that version of the Roman Empire, and they became Byzantium. And so Byzantium was completely Christian. See what I'm saying? The Byzantium Empire was Byzantium Empire was completely Christian. This is where it all comes from. The Moors started the church in the first place. They the ones who kicked out the pagan energy and brought in the Christian energy. Everybody's like, it's Constantinople. Well, Constantinople had advice from Moorish ambassadors. They bring in Christianity, player, so we can control the people, player, and we got you, player. And that's what they did. That's what he did. So, and then first council of Nicaea in 325 AD, the second council of Nicaea happens in 700 something. You know, but it's two councils. The first council was in 325 AD, where they actually established the Christian church. The second council, which happens in 725 sometime, is when they pick what books to go into the Bible and what books shouldn't go into the Bible. You see what I'm saying? That's when they altered the Bible and took out about 100 texts. You see what I'm saying? Took out about 100 texts. This is where it all makes sense. This is the whole storyline of the Moors. You see what I'm saying? So now, don't let them tell you that, the Moors started Christianity. Don't get it twisted. The Moors started all of this. You see what I'm saying? So they was behind it all. You know, they was behind it all. Now, Islam was forced upon them. You know, the Phoenicians started Islam. The Phoenicians started Islam. And it was spread by Muhammad. You know, it was spread by Muhammad. Now, they telling y'all that Ethiopia started Islam. No, they did not. Ethiopia had their own Kushite teachings, which was similar to Nubia, because they were descendants of Nubia. So they had their mystery system was the Nubian mystery system. And you see what I'm saying? So there was a whole other storyline. So the original Islam, known as Al-Islam, would take on a whole other paradigm. You see what I'm saying? So up under, and it will be spread by Muhammad. You know, the Prophet Muhammad. This is the true teaching. But Islam was forced upon the Berbers, you know, after the Arabs conquered North Africa. So don't let them get it twisted in their storytelling here. You see what I'm saying? Don't let them get it twisted. This is all their story. Now, why was it so hard to conquer North America for the Moors? And the answer is, they knew that the ancient mound builders were mighty men and women of great power and wisdom. You see what I'm saying? This is what you got going on here. So this is what's happening. They were, our ancestors, the mound builders. That includes, the mound builders are a mythical name which represents the giant golden warriors, silver warriors, and bronze warriors of our land of North America. They being the fine-ass Califian giant women of California, who most of the women, they had men there, but it was mostly a matriarchy, a powerful feminine empire in the western part of the country. Then in the southern part of the country, it was the Washita. You see what I'm saying? The Yaquis. You know, so it was the Washita, but mainly the Washita held most power in the south to mid part of the country. You know, so they power, or they presence, you know, they tell you all the time that they expand all the way towards the Rocky Mountains. You see what I'm saying? So all that was theirs. So with other tribes or indigenous tribes connected to their royal empire. Then the southeastern part of the country was ran by the Creeks, Seminole. They collectively called themselves the Muskegee. But you had the Creeks, the Seminoles, the Yamasee, and I'm missing a group. Choctaw. Yeah, Choctaw. That's what I was missing. So yeah, and then you had the North. You had the northwestern group, who were the Iroquois, made up of the Lenape, and various other group. You see what I'm saying? So these so-called 5 great nations that they like to call themselves now, the First Nations, they was already in existence, and they were all melanated people, and they were powerful, mighty men and women. The Moors themselves knew this, so they saved us for last. There's a reason for this. They saved us for last. You know, they knew that they was gonna catch hell with these mighty men and women of Turtle Island or North America. This is what you got going on here. And this is what you got going on here. So now, so they held off until they infiltrated the Caribbean. So instead of going for North America right away, they went for the Caribbeans. That's when Pietro de Negro brought Christopher Columbus ass over here to Haiti, where we know today is Haiti, right? And that's when he settled in, and Pietro de Negro started, he was the one who got out the boat, not Christopher Columbus. And finally, he eventually got out the boat, but, and that's when he ran back to Spain to tell everybody what was going on. And so, yeah. So this is what's happening here. This is what's happening. So, they brought their ass over here. We went and studied what the fuck was going on in the Eastern Hemisphere. They lost their territory due to infighting. If y'all don't know why the Moors lost their territory, they lost due to infighting. Instead of coming together to fight the Christian, the Christian, I forget the guy's name, Ferdinand, that was his name. The Christian General Ferdinand, instead of bringing their ass together to whoop his ass, they engaged in infighting. They was too busy whooping each other ass, and so Ferdinand just came in and took them out. That's the same thing they used. That's the same tactic they used on the Incans, because the Incans was in the middle of a civil war for rulership. They just came at a great time. And so Francisco Pizarro and his Moorish conquistadors were actually the ones who conquered them. That's why they were Christian, by the way. That's why they were Christian. These Christian Moors here. These were Christian Moors here. So that's how they easily able to conquer the giant mighty men of the Incans and women of the Incans, because they were in the middle of a civil war. Now the Aztecs, the reason why they was able to conquer the Aztecs is because they thought, it was a prophecy. What was the god? Trying to think of the god who said he was Inky, but in Aztecian, he had another name, but I can't think of the name off the top of my head right now. The Aztecian god who was prophesied to return to them. They thought these mighty men who came who these mighty men dressed in armor and shit who got out the boat. They thought that they was this Quetzalcoatl. That's who it was, Quetzalcoatl. So they thought it was the return of the god Quetzalcoatl, because he had promised that he would return, right? He had promised he would return. So they thought it was him, but it was actually the conquistadors. And so they let them in, and the conquistadors infiltrated and took them out from the inside out. That's how Mesoamerica and South America was defeated so easily. So yes. Yeah, there you go. Shit, it was Quetzalcoatl. The serpent god. So that's how they defeated Mesoamerica and South America. But we didn't have that problem in North America. You see what I'm saying? We didn't have that problem in North America. We knew who these motherfuckers was, and the conquistadors knew better than to come over here with their bullshit, right? So, they came up here and made treaties with us, the Spanish and everybody. They respected us so much because we were the original rulers of the world. They respected us so much they didn't even try to conquer us. They actually came up here and traded with us. So according to their storyline. So what goes on next is it went so they came in the 1400s. So next it wouldn't be until 1607 when the English came over that the Moors began to plot to take down the Mu Empire, North America, or Turtle Island, as it's also known, as they secretly helped the English gain power in America. Also, what contributed to our downfall were the Asian Red Indians. Yep, the Asian Red Indians. You can't ignore their fucking their role in why we failed. We failed because they could also conspire with the English to take us out. So I just want to put that on file. So yeah, the Asian Red Indians, who are perpetrating, who took our names once they came to power, and they have been pretending like they have been us for the past 200 or so years. See what I'm saying? Cause they started assassinating everybody in the 1800s. So let's see here. Let's see here. So, as they secretly helped the English gain power in America, North America, they even went so far as to create a functioning government for them with their Articles of Confederation. The Moors wrote the Articles of Confederation. Keep game here. The Moors wrote that. They even went so they then gave their apprentices, the Sons of Liberty, $25 million in gold to fund the Republic of America in the late 1700s. Yep, in the mid to late 1700s. So this is where it all making sense. This is the missing history that y'all need to understand why the Moors does not have your best interest at heart. The Moors have already been denounced by the ancestors because of them partaking in index expurgatories. They already have been denounced, and they have not done nothing or anything to curb that or heal that rift. Matter of fact, they've done nothing but the opposite. They continue to engage in their fuckery, and this is why they have targets on their backs. You see what I'm saying? This is why they haven't been succeeding, because the ancestors are keeping them out of power. And this is why they hate our ancestors, because they know that they're keeping them out of power. So yes. So now, let's see here. So they paid $20 to $25 million in gold to fund the Republic of America in the late 1700s. Peak game here. So it was them. They tell you there was a Blackamoor, I forget the guy's name, who wrote the Articles of Confederation. It was a Blackamoor who did that shit. All right, and they would take those foundational scripts and remodify into the U.S. Constitution. You see what I'm saying? So that was the foundational articles of the U.S. Constitution. Then they had Thomas Jefferson write the Declaration of Independence, because you know, in order to change over some footing, you need to create. If you want change, then you need to create chaos. So they needed some chaos to fully implement the new U.S. government. And so then they had Thomas Jefferson write the Declaration of Independence. So announcing their separation, their independence from Britain, Great Britain, right? And this started the Revolutionary War with Britain. You see what I'm saying? Now, what y'all don't know about the Revolutionary War is it was all a facade. Actually, what the Revolutionary War was really about was taking out and usurping as much of the indigenous people's power as possible. You see what I'm saying? The British had a secret role that they sent letters. Thomas Jefferson and the Sons of Liberty sent letters to Britain to take out as many of the indigenous populations in America as possible during the Revolutionary War. That's what the Revolutionary War was really about. They made it look like that it was a war. There was a war for the independence of America. But America actually lost that war. Yeah, they tell you that they won militarily and politically, but the war cost them financially. They used up all their money to fund the war. So they had to borrow a loan from Britain, thus giving Britain financial power back over them. So they was in debt to Britain. So they may have won the war militarily and politically, but they lost the war economically. And so economics rules this shit, right? Not politics. Politics is magic to keep people in line. You see, that's what politics is all about, to keep you in line. Nah, that's what the politics is about here. It's designed to keep the people trapped in their matrix. That's what it's for. But the money is what the real power is in their system. That's why they don't want the economic monetary system falling, because that's what the real power is. So it was the Revolutionary War, where they don't tell you about, they tell you about the Kansas City massacre and all that. They don't tell you about the massacre of as many indigenous people across the 13 colonies, or the eastern United States to the mid United States, as they possibly could. You see what I'm saying? There were Trail of Tears before the recorded Trail of Tears. They tell you about the red Indians Trail of Tears, but they don't tell you about the black Indians Trail of Tears, where they had to leave their home because of all this destruction and move in with the Washita. You see what I'm saying? With the Washita. Because the Washita still held their power at this time. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, this is the hidden history that y'all need to know about. So, now, this is how the Moors usurped the Mu Empire and handed it off to the newly formed Republic of America. Republic of America rebelled against Britain. They beat them militarily and politically, but they lost to them economically due to them running out of money. So they had to borrow a loan from Britain, which put them back in debt with Britain. And so the U.S. corporation slowly became a subsidiary of Britain, because they could never pay off their debts. You see what I'm saying? They could never pay off their debt. So they became a subsidiary of Britain. See what I'm saying? That's how America became. That's why Britain owns America, because they still in the debt. They never paid off their debt to Britain. So they are a subsidiary of Britain, who is a subsidiary of the Catholic Church, right? So that's why the Catholic Church's influence can affect America, because we are a subsidiary of the Catholic Empire. You see what I'm saying? The Catholic Empire. You have two aspects of the Catholic Empire. You have the Christian, the white Christian empire, or the Tony Moore Empire. Then you had the black pope, white pope and black pope, and you had a black pope who is the Blackamoor Empire. That's why you have two major systems. You had a Roman system, which is for the Tony Moors, and you have the Moorish system, which is for the Berber Moors. You see what I'm saying? So that's why these systems haven't been abolished over here. And we don't want to tell y'all how they got set up over here too. I'll tell y'all how they got fully set up. So from this point on, the Moors would fade into the background and rule somewhat from the shadows until 1871, when the Republic of America was usurped by the cabal and they refashioned us into the United States Corporation known as the USC. You see what I'm saying? USC. This is what you got going on here. So this actually gonna piss a lot of people off for multiple reasons. So yeah. So now so we in 1871, the Republic of America, the Moors is actually having the time of their lives in America. Only people that were slaves were prisoners of war from both the Revolutionary War and the indigenous people, guerrillas, who was rebelling against, you see what I'm saying, the Moors. You know, the indigenous guerrillas, you know, the guerrilla wars, who was actually whooping that ass until the Moors taught them how to betray us and taught them our secrets and tactics. See what I'm saying? Because you have more spies embedded in all the indigenous tribes all across the land. So yeah, this is what you got going on here. So here we go. From there, the Moors, who enjoyed luxury in the Republic of America, were then hunted down and destroyed by the new cabal. But later on, the Moorish families fought back and started forming new societies, like Prince Hall Masonry, the Boulay, and the reestablishment of the Moorish Empire by Noble Drew Ali. See, this is where Noble Drew Ali come in the picture. They would begin to gain power again until the assassination of Noble Drew Ali in the late 1920s. So yeah. So here go a little message from Noble Drew Ali called The Apparatus.
Islam. Hear now, ye world's dominions, powers, and thrones. Hear now, ye cherubim, ye seraphim, ye angels, and ye men. Hear now, O protoplast and earth, and plant, and beast. Hear now, ye creeping things of earth, ye fish that swim, ye birds that fly. Hear now, ye wind that blows, ye thunders, and ye lightnings of the sky. Hear now, ye spirits of the fire, of water, earth, and air. Hear now, O everything that is, or was, or evermore will be, for wisdom speaks from out of the highest plane of spirit life. Heart now, let every creature hear, the plane of soul is but the ether of the spirit plane vibrating not so fast, and in a slower rhythm of this plane the essences of life are manifest. Upon the boundary of the plane of soul, the ether began to vibrate slower still, and then the essences took on a final garb. Yea, he must suffer trials and temptations manifold, but let him know that cherubim and seraphim that rule the stations of the sun and spirit of the mighty Allah who rule the solar stars are his protectors and his guide, and they will lead to victory. O thou, the favorite of heaven, whom the sons of men, thy equals, have agreed to raise to sovereign power and set as a ruler over themselves, consider the ends and importance of their trust, far more than the dignity and height of thy station. There is but one Allah, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible. The sun is not Allah, though his noblest image. He enlighteneth the world with his brightness, his warmth giveth life to the products of the earth. Admire the sun as the creature, the instrument of Allah, but worship him not. To the one who is supreme, most wise and beneficent, to him alone belongs worship, adoration, thanksgiving and praise, he who hath stretched forth the heavens with his hands, who hath described with his finger the courses of stars. The last prophet in these days was prepared divinely in due time by Allah, to redeem men from their sinful ways, and to warn them of the great wrath which is sure to come upon the earth. In these modern days there came a forerunner, who was divinely prepared by the great God Allah, who did teach and warn the nations of the earth to prepare to meet the coming prophet, who was to bring the true and divine creed of Islam, who was prepared and sent to this earth by Allah. We, the Moorish American Muslims, are returning to Islamism, which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation. Come all ye Asiatics. I have got airplanes, zeppelins, and apparatus. I am going to take my good Moors up in an apparatus, on an incline until it's all over with. At the end of time, those that will be in the apparatus will be able to look down on earth, and see people that you know, fleeing for their life. Islam.
Now let me take the time out to show you the image of the ancient Moors. So now we get into Noble Drew Ali and the creation of the modern Moors. You see what I'm saying? The modern Moors. So let me go ahead and get that part over with. Here go the ancient Moors. These are the ones from the Moorish Spain. I already showed you the Berbers. Statues of them. This Hughes Day Payne, creator, one of the 9 creators of the Knight Templars. And the actual major creator of the Knight Templars, actually. And then he had 8 other brothers who reconciled with him. There go another one, red hats. So they specialize in red and more in Moorish Spain. One of the Moorish generals speaking with the Pope. So yes, they were all in cahoots. And I think this is Almanza. They got a description. Cardinal Albert Brandenburg being chastised by Ulrich von Hutten, 1517. Von Hutten was a German scholar, poet, and reformer, and also an outspoken critic of the Roman Catholic Church. He acted as a bridge between a humanist and a Lutheran Reformation. He was a leader of the Imperial Knights of the Holy Roman Empire from 1488 to 1523. So, it was the Moors. We now know that it was the Moors who caused the Protestant Reformation. Yes. There you go, right here. Just give you a close-up of it. So, just reading that script there, you now know it was the Moors who caused the Protestant Reformation. Moors rebels. So, let's see here. Unknown Black Knight of the Holy Roman Empire. That's what they said down there. This here is a painted panel from the outer right-hand wing of Polypech. The young man wears the crown of a nobleman and carries the red and white military pennant and shield of the Holy Roman Empire, circa 1447, from Wiener Neustadt Abbey, Stephenson, Vienna. So now, those are the colors of the Holy Roman Empire. That's why they the red hats. Now, because they actually created the Holy Roman Empire and ruled from it. So now, we're starting to get a better understanding of why they were so powerful. Because when they was in Africa, they wore blue. So how they go from blue to red? This is how. Here go another picture of a Berber Moor surrounded by Tawny Moors. Those are the white Moors, or Admiral Moors, as they also called. Black Knight of the Swabian League of Saints with St. George's cross, flag, and shield, who is purposely falsely identified as St. Maurice in order to hide his true identity. Weinhausen Abbey near Celle in Lower Saxony, Germany, 1500. St. George's cross is a red cross and a white background, associated with St. George since the time of the Crusades. Historically, the cross appeared on the flags, emblems, and coats of arms of the Swabian League in late medieval Germany. The Swabian League was a mutual defense and peacekeeping association of imperial estates established in 1488 at the behest of Emperor Frederick III of Habsburg, Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. So is it not too hard to believe that the Moors themselves actually destroyed the Islamic Moors? The Christian Moors actually aided in destroying the Islamic Moors, or at least raised up the white Christians, or Tawny Moors, or Admiral Moors, as they also called, to rebel against the Islamic Moors. See what I'm saying? So here go a Moor that was living in America. That's why he looked like that. He an American Moor. Yep. Spanish Moor of Spain. Hold on, let me turn on that, a little bit of that brightness so y'all can see him in the background there. There we go. Moor of Spain. And the Tariki and Berber army. One of the most powerful armies of the time. Also another picture of Moor of Spain. Another Berber. A Moor of Spain. One of the ladies. What's up, Will? Another one. Another one. One of the more earlier versions of the Fez. We're gonna get into that part later. Now, now we're talking about Noble Drew Ali. He introduced us to what? The Moorish flag, right? The Moorish flag. Now, peep game. This is the Moorish flag they portray to you. Right? This is it. Moorish flag with the star, the 5-pointed star. The 5-pointed star actually means something. Let's see what it means. It means love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Any group of people must answer up to the constitutional standards of law by name and principles. Because to be a citizen of any government, you must claim your national descent name. Because they place their trust upon issue and names formed by their forefathers. You see what I'm saying? But now, this is what they show you. And this is the Moorish Empire that being portrayed to you. See what I'm saying? The secret Moorish Empire. Right? Let me show you something here. Have you ever seen a picture of this? These three flags here. Of course, you've seen the picture of the first two, but have you ever seen the first one at the top? You probably haven't. Now, the one up top is actually the continental flag that George Washington and his people flew during the Revolutionary War. Continental flag, aka Bunker Hill flag. Remember the story of George Washington cutting down the cherry tree? Well, guess what? This flag just so happened to have a cherry tree on it. Yeah. So this flag here is just so happened to have a cherry tree on it. Then you got the sovereign flag of Morocco, Al Morocco's, which is the red flag with the 5-pointed star here. So this is what Noble Drew Ali established over here. You see what I'm saying? Then they tell you that America is the flag of amity and commerce. Then you know there's the flag of aka Star Spangled Banner, which is not a national flag. It's the flag of the United States Corporation. That's this one here. Right? This the one that they portray to you all the time. This is the flag of the United States Corporation. Amity is the flag of amity and commerce, aka Star Spangled Banner. So, not a national flag. So, the flag that they gave to Noble Drew Ali is the red flag with the star on it. Alright? And so he set up his Moorish Science Temple of America and brought back the Moorish Empire over here. That's where it's all come from. Now, this is where it gets real. This is where it gets really real. Pay attention to this part so y'all understand how the Moorish Empire was usurped by the Roman government. Alright? This is where it all goes. This is where everything goes south. The Jesuit Moors then came in and usurped the Moorish paradigm and abolished Noble Drew Ali's Moorish Science Temple of America and refashioned it into the Jesuit Moorish Science Temple of America / the Jesuit Moorish Empire in the 1940s after they assassinated Noble Drew Ali in the late 1920s. Understand that. So, the flag went from this, to this, a fusion, because the Moorish Empire, once it was usurped from Noble Drew Ali, became a subsidiary of the Roman government, or the Roman United States Corporation over here. So it became a subsidiary once it was usurped by the Jesuit Moors. You see what I'm saying? And they created the Moorish Science Temple of America. This is why when you apply for your nationality in Moorish science to become a Moor, they don't attack you for it. Now you're starting to see why. What's up, Juan? Now you're starting to see why. Since the Moorish government of America has been under the control of the Jesuit Moors, and it operates as a subsidiary of the Roman United States Corporation, so if you try to legally leave their system and go to the Moorish Empire, it's still controlled by the cabal. See what I'm saying? It's still controlled by the cabal, right? Now y'all starting to understand what's really going on here. You see what I'm saying? Now you starting to understand what happened to the Moorish Empire. Noble Drew Ali set it up over here. They took it from him. To keep it plain and simple, they assassinated him and took the Moorish Empire from him and created their own version of it again. They stole it, refashioned it, and it became a subsidiary of the Roman Catholic United States Corporation, which we already know is a subsidiary of Great Britain, which we know is a subsidiary of the Catholic Church. So the Moorish Empire is actually up under the rule of the Catholic Empire now. P gang. This is why we say the Moors are Cabal Jedi. It's because they work for the Cabal government, whether they know it or not, or whether they like it or not. You are using your force, your life force, to help aid the Cabal in their plight for world domination, because the Moorish Empire is up under the rule of the Catholic Empire. You see what I'm saying? Most people think that once they most melanated Americans think that once they get out of the Roman system and go into the Moorish system, they good, they free. Actually, you're worse off in the Moorish system because it's a subsidiary of the Roman United States Corporation. You see what I'm saying? It's a subsidiary of the Roman United States Corporation. So this is what you got going on here. This is what happened. And if y'all don't believe me, go check out Alim El Bey's page. And as he gives you the history of the Washita Nation, he shows you that the Moorish government or the Moorish Empire was usurped by Jesuit Moors in the 1940s, and they reestablished it. I'm not making that shit up. They reestablished it, and now it's a subsidiary of the Roman United States Corporation. I'm just telling y'all was already what they did. Now, you get upset about it, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Just letting y'all know what it is. Y'all can go research it yourself. Go to Dr. Alim El Bey page, and it's already there in black and white. You ain't got to believe me. You know, I'm just letting y'all know the facts. So y'all can go research them all you want. So yeah. So now, the Moorish Empire of America consists of the Boule, Prince Hall Masonry, Greek fraternities and sorority, the Moorish Science Temple of America, historically black college universities, Moorish law, Moroccan treaties from the African Moors, etc., etc. So, this is what you got going on here. Greek fraternities and sororities are remnants of the Moorish Spanish empires. You see what I'm saying? Because remember, Greek was in this shit too. Don't forget that they set up the Greek actually sent down their sciences to Moorish Spain as well, and it was all part of one big library, one big college system that the Moors created in Spain, which was a powerhouse at the time. So these Greek fraternities and sororities you see, they have Egyptian symbols, of course, naturally, and Egyptian icons, but they are actually up under the Moorish Empire. You know, we actually created most of those fraternities and sororities over here. So, this is what you got going on here. This is what you got going on. These are some of the events that leads up to present day, to the present day, on why the Moors are traitors for us and our ancestors. So yeah. They sold our Mu Empire to the Sons of Liberty and the Republic of America and created for them a legal system known as legalese or magistrate to govern us so we wouldn't rebel against them. Legalese is a form of corrupt occult magic. You see what I'm saying? It's legal magic. You know, that's why they can create a law. That's why they love creating laws. They create laws because it's a form of legal magic. And they create the law first, then they go and enforce it, and they actually can affect you with it because the magic, the word, the calligraphy has already been written and put into practice up under their corrupt legal system. That's how it's been affecting us for so long. So yeah. So even if the Moors tried to fight back, you know, they still are up under the United States Corporation. That's a hidden teaching that only the high-ranking Moors know about. So they can write all the laws they want until they come out with something saying, or they do a case or something saying that they've broken away officially from the Roman government, which they haven't, as we know, they haven't. Then they are part of this corrupt regime. Now they are starting to break away now, because they have their own agenda. We'll get to that in a minute. But as of right now, they are still part of the Roman United States Corporation. So now, next, they installed the monetary system and incremented Next, they installed the monetary system and they abolished the barter system. You know, because originally we was just trading amongst ourselves. But they came in and gave us coins and shit. That's why we stopped trading amongst ourselves and started trading coins for products, which set up the free enterprise system. You see what I'm saying? Set up the free enterprise system. So yeah, which is a Roman monetary system. The free enterprise system is actually a Roman monetary system. We did not create that. So we were on a barter system. The barter system means we just trade amongst ourselves, different goods. You need a blanket, I got a blanket. Well, I need some water. Alright, you get water for free. You go to lakes and rivers to get water. But if you need clothes or something like that, because that's all we need to trade. Clothes and perfumes and colognes and all that. That's all we need to trade amongst each other in the Mu Empire. So you got something they need, they give you something you need. And, you know, vice versa. So yeah. So we was on the barter system. We didn't come, these coins came out of the Roman Catholic system. See what I'm saying? We had no dealings with coins. And now paper money came later. That's the cabal system there. The Federal Reserve. That didn't come right away. The coin system came first during the Republic of America. See what I'm saying? Then, once the cabal took over, that's when they took us off the gold and silver standard and put us on the paper money. You see what I'm saying? IOUs, reserve notes. We'll get to that in a second. So yeah. Next, once the cabal came in, they took us off the gold and silver standard or certificates in the 1930s and put us under the Federal Reserve. So like the people said, you haven't been getting paid real money since like 1933. So the people have been telling you that for years. So yeah, so the Moors decided to continue working for them on all levels, you know. Because as long as they continued to be a part of the United States Corporation, they would get all they wanted. That's what you're seeing. You ever ask yourself why they haven't came after the Moorish Science Temple of America? It's because they are owned by the United States corporation, who came in and killed the true Moors in the 1920s and 30s, and then usurped their empire in the 40s and reestablished it as the Jesuit Moorish Empire. So yeah. Yeah, this long. Yeah, this one long. So yeah. So now the Cabal, however, being a lot more crueler than the Christian Gnostics, forced them to partake in Masonic humiliation rituals if they wanted to advance in their society. So the Moors did this up until the contracts would expire again in 2019, unless you already in there. See what I'm saying? The contracts expired again in 2019. So yeah, because remember, it's a corporation, so their contracts only last for a certain amount of time, from 1871 to 2019. Now it's a vie for power. That's what we come in with the four-way war right now between us, the Mu Empire, the Moorish Empire, the Cabal, and the Christian Gnostics, which is the Republic of America. That's what you're seeing. That's what you're seeing right now. That's why the QAnon and HON niggas and all them coming from. That's a whole other regime, the Arturian government. The Cabal ran by the Archons, the Moors ran by the Saturnians, and us are ran by the Anunnaki. So those are the 4 ET groups. The Mu Empire, Anunnaki, is a subsidiary of the Anunnaki Empire, you know. The Moorish Empire is a subsidiary of the Saturnian Empire, and Titanians, the moon, the Moors who live on the moon. The Cabal is a subsidiary of the Archons, and they republic, the Archon Republic. And then you have finally the Christian Gnostics, who are up under the Arturians and the Pleiadians and all of them, and they are creating their. That's where Trump come in. They are creating their government. You see what I'm saying? The Republic of America. He was supposed to be the 19th president of the Republic of America. See what I'm saying? The last president was Abraham Lincoln. No, last president was Ulysses S. Grant. He was the 18th president, my bad. So of the Republic of America. And then up under Ulysses S. Grant's rule, that's when they usurped it. You see what I'm saying? Because Ulysses S. Grant was really a general, not a politician. This is why you don't make generals politicians. So yeah. So now you seeing a lot of white people turning Moors or /Admiral Moors step down and being replaced with blacker Moors. You see what I'm saying? I.e. CEOs, media moguls, celebrities, artists, scientists, etc., because they see an opportunity to regain power at this time, so they can reinstitute the Moorish priesthood magistrate or the Moorish caliphate. You see what I'm saying? They trying to reinstitute they trying to recreate another version of Moorish Spain over here. You see what I'm saying? So they're using Islam instead of Christianity. So it's gonna be a Moorish caliphate. You know, the American Moorish priesthood caliphate over here. You know, so this is the new Moorish empire the Moors are trying to create. That's why I've been telling y'all they're trying to create a priesthood magistrate, or more specifically, a Moorish caliphate. You see what I'm saying? So to prove that there's a difference in the Moorish system and the Moorish system, the Muian system, is the fact that the Moors have already been usurped by the Jesuits. So you can enter the new system, you can enter their system, and without any friction. Now, we've been living on the planet for a long time now. Whenever they don't control something that we create, they come in and destroy it. I.e. the Black Panther Party. Perfect example. What they did, they fucked them up, right? Because they rebelled against the Matrix, right? The hippies. Anything that they don't control, they destroy. So, you mean to tell me the Moorish Empire has been in existence since the 20s, created by Noble Drew Ali? They assassinated Noble Drew Ali and they kept it. They kept it running, they kept it going, and y'all don't think that they don't have a hand in it? Come on now. Use your logic. Use your logic. Y'all don't think they have a hand in the rulership order of this Moorish empire over here on the back of that U.S. dollar. Let's see. I got one. Got a U.S. dollar here. We can go over this real quick. Yeah. They said that this here represents the Moorish empire, and this one here represents the Roman empire, right? But they both the same empire. That's why I got the word one in the middle. We are one empire. You see what I'm saying? We are one empire. You see what I'm saying? A new coetis. You know, novus ordo seclorum. See what I'm saying? Peace and war. You know? So that's what the bird represents. So they telling you that the Roman Empire and the Moorish Empire are one. Are one. It's one system now. That's what they telling you right here. That's what they telling you right here. That's why the eye here, the all-seeing eye, is detached from the pyramid. Because the Roman Empire owns the Moorish Empire. Because it was usurped by Jesuit priests who called themselves Moors. You don't believe me? You ain't gotta believe me. Go check it out for yourself. I told you where to find the information for yourself if you want to know. If you want to know. So yes, now what was I? The Moorish Empire, the Murians. Now, Empress Verdiasi, following in the footsteps of Noble Drew Ali, took it a step further and went to the United Nations and made the Washita Empire, de Dogmalia, a sovereign nation of its own. And the United Nations dubbed them what? They dubbed them what? The oldest tribe in the world. Right? So, a sovereign nation of its own that is not connected with the Jesuit Moorish system. So, it is not controlled by the cabal. This is why they attacked the Moorish Washita sovereignty, the government in the early 2000s, and they were not, quote unquote, official, because they said they was draped in all black. According to the reports, they was draped in all black. They had no warrants. They came in, smashed up her house, took all of the recipients, because they was handing out what you call it? They was handing out IDs for the new recruits of the Moorish Empire, right? Of the Washita Empire. So they came in, took all of it, and destroyed her house, and it was illegally on her land that she reclaimed from the United Nations. So this is why they demonize the Washita Empire, because they do not control the Washita Empire. You see what I'm saying? They do not control it. This is the problem. This is the difference between the Moorish Empire and the Moorish Empire. If you don't believe me, go check out Dr. Alim Bey, who was once a Moor. He became Washita because he found out that the Moorish Empire was ruled by the Jesuits and had sold it into the United States Corporation as a subsidiary. So he found that out. He was if y'all know anything about Dr. Alim Bey, y'all know that my boy was a die-hard Moor until he found out until he went down there with Empress Verdiasi and found out the fucking truth about what was going on. And so he shifted from the Noble Drew Ali's version, which was now abolished, of the Moorish Empire, to the Moorish Empire, which he still reps to this day. They have classes that you can get information to get initiated into the Washita Empire. You know, he still does that to this day on his page. Go check him out. So, well, what's going on here, since you can still do this, you can, you know, go and do the work yourselves, or he will send you the packets, or you can pay him and he'll do it for you. And they don't even fuck with Dr. Alim Bey because he is part of the Moorish Empire. You know, he is part of the Moorish Empire now. So they don't fuck with him like that. And, you know, he doesn't exist in their current program. That's why they do not want the Washita Empire to get fucking popular. Like I told y'all recently. A Facebook friend of mine asked me about the Washita Empire, and they couldn't find information. They was asking me about the goddess Mu. And so when I went to go look for the information for her, I called hell finding the information because they have doubled back or doubled down on their attempts to block or demonize the Watchtower Empire. You know, they put way more propaganda out there saying that the Watchtower Empire isn't real and it's a false entity. So it's harder to find information on the Watchtower Empire on Google now. They double back on it. It wasn't like that a few months ago. You see what I'm saying? When I did the Return of the Ancient Ones last year lecture, it wasn't that hard to find information on the Watchtower Empire. Now they have doubled back on their attempts, and now they have flooded Google, the Google search engine, with false propaganda saying that the Watchtower Empire is a false empire. See what I'm saying? So yeah, so if they own fucking the Watchtower Empire, why are they working so hard to keep it, to demonize it? You see what I'm saying? If they actually owned it, or they actually had a hand in it. They don't work hard to demonize the Moorish Empire. Peep game. Use your logic. Use your logic. That's all I'm saying. You know, use your logic. So, where was I? But Empress Verdiasi, like I said, took it a step further and went to the United Nations and made the Watchtower Empire de Domania a sovereign nation of its own that is not connected with the Jesuit Moorish system. So it is not controlled by the Cabal. This is why they attack the Moorish Watchtower sovereignty, but not Moorish sovereignty, because they do not own the Watchtower Empire. They do not own it. They do not own it. So since they don't own it, they consider it a threat, right? It's a foreign nation within their so-called, it's a foreign, when in actuality, they're the foreign nation, but in their eyes, it's a foreign nation on their land. But even though they're the actual foreign government on our land, it's reversed. They're trying to reverse the shit, right? So, in conclusion, finally, in conclusion, in summary, so now you see that the Moors have no intention of coming back in line with the ancestors. See what I'm saying? Us and Mother God. So yeah. They choose to continue being a rebel faction that continues to separate themselves, separate and betray the Mu Empire. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. They choose to continue being a rebel faction that continues to separate and betray the Mu Empire. You see that to this day. They rather do the Cabal's Masonic humiliation rituals to get ahead and join the Boule and all these fucking college fraternities and sororities and all this, and the Moorish Science Temple of America and all this other shit they got going on, knowing that these niggas ain't gonna just let them do whatever the fuck they want to do in their fucking corporation right now. So, but just to get ahead, according to the Cabal, they gotta do Masonic humiliation rituals. That's why you see so much shaming of celebrities in the media, because they are part of the Moorish program right now in some shape, form, or fashion, whether they have signed the papers or not. You know, it don't matter whether you part of the Boule or not. You know, it don't matter whether you part of the Moorish Empire or not. The Boule and everybody, you still going to one of these orders, whether you like it or not, if you are in the industry. See what I'm saying? That's the main point. So these Cabal Jedi, that's why they call Cabal Jedi, because they are using their life force at the behest of themselves and the people to do these Masonic humiliation rituals, knowing it's gonna fuck up them, and fuck with the minds of the people to get ahead in this Cabal corporation called the Roman United States Corporation. So they're gonna continue doing it, no matter what the cost, to get their money, to get this Roman money. See what I'm saying? So that's what you got going on here. That's what you got going on. So yeah. So there you go. That's the truth story of the Red Hats. If y'all know, y'all already got information on the Black Hat Cabal. Y'all already got information on the White Hat Christian Gnostics. I told y'all about the Green Hats last week. And now finally y'all understand the fourth dynasty or empire, which is the Moorish Empire, and why they are traitors to the Mu Empire. They will always choose to rebel against the ancestors, our way, our true way, in order to continue to get ahead in somebody else's system. They do not give a fuck about the way of our ancestors, the way of Mother Earth. As long as they get what they want, and they can be intellectually inclined, and they can be sitting high and chilling and living their life. If you go read the story of Spain, the story of the Moors in Spain, and you look at how a lot of black people act now, you can tell they operating off the Moorish energy. The same attitudes the Moors had in Spain, the same attitude a lot of melanated people have in America today. Because like I told you, you have both bloodlines in you. You have a choice. You can either choose, one can't serve two masters now. You can either choose the Moorish bloodline, the red hats, or you can choose the Moorish, the Muyan bloodline, the green hats. The choice is yours. You need to come back into the Anunnaki Empire, which is the original empire, or you can go into the Saturnian Empire. You know, the rebel faction, the Anarchy. See, which is known as the Anarchy Empire as a whole. You know, the Saturnians is just one, and the Titanians is just one group. There are multiple rebel factions of that Moorish group, but they all called the Anarchy, the Anarchian Empire. You see what I'm saying? So collectively in the text. So, but we know mainly the closest group that had the most influence on Earth is the Saturnians and the Titanians. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, there y'all go. Now y'all understand the betrayals of the Moors, the Berbers. You know. So yeah, any questions? I'll take questions now. Any questions? Rupert, do you think currently that the Moors have infiltrated the Nuwaubians? No, the U.S. government infiltrated the Nuwaubians. Yeah, they didn't need the Moors for that. Well, they may look like Moors, so yeah. Yeah, I think it's COINTELPRO though. But technically, a lot of Moors signed up for COINTELPRO, so yeah. Yeah, you can say it's them, in a way. Any other questions? Any question? Take a look here. There you go, Void. The Zionist Moors can't separate themselves from the Cabal. They've damned themselves to commit heresy against the Empire. There you go. Yeah, the Empress is a descendant of Marie Antoinette. And they can't change the signed documents. There you go. RJ, can I explain the index? Oh yeah, index percolator. Let me make sure I'm saying it right. The index expurgatories, which is when the Catholics and Muslims got together to burn what they considered to be condemned alchemical occult texts and books publicly. It was a public event. It's and where I got that information from is in the book. It's actually in the book, the story of the Moors in Spain. I forget the guy's name who made that book, but it's a real popular book. You can just type it in on Amazon. Y'all want to read over it, but it literally said that Almanza burned the motherfuckers publicly for the Roman Catholic Church. I didn't make that up. I haven't made nothing up that I just said. It's all right there in documents. Whether it's the Spanish documents, whether it's the European documents, whatever. Whatever group you wanna say, they all is all there. I didn't make not one thing up. I just gave y'all pure facts on the research that I came across. Yeah, so that was the first, incident where they went against the ancestors. They was not supposed to burn no books. They weren't supposed to do none of that shit. Especially not publicly, because when you do it with publicly, it fucks with your mind when the people see that you burning spiritual teachers. That kind of kills the spirit. So that's why they went against the ancestors. You see what I'm saying? It kind of killed the people's spirit on a mass level. And a lot of people knew, we damned. A lot of people were saying, we damned. So they put that program in there. And because they believed that they was damned, they became damned. And from that point on, they slowly declined and lost power of Moors of Spain. So yeah. So yeah, they can go on and on with sovereignty, but it's no good because it's been usurped by Jesuit Moors. Yes, the Moors are different from Moors. You good, cuz you good. Yeah, they're different from Moors. That's why I say the green hats. Why green? Because green is the color of the planet. Are we a group of people? In a sense, yes and no. We a group as in we are like-minded and we want to see the best for our people, our planet, and ourselves. But mainly we are a group of individuals because we all doing our own things at the behest of our ancestors to get this shit done. So yes. So in that way, yes. But we are like-minded in the sense that we are doing this work for us, our ancestors, our planet, and we want to ascend to this new golden age. The Moorish paradigm is not going to get you to the golden age. They don't even teach spirituality for real in the Moorish Science Temple of America. They only teach nationality. So they're not even teaching you the shit. Noble Drew Ali and everybody were mystics. So why aren't y'all getting the metaphysics as well? You see what I'm saying? So they don't even teach that shit. So yeah. There you go. So that's pretty much what it is with that. There you go, Void. They will never be sovereign for their ill-gotten deeds and heresy. Well, the sad part is the high-ups in the Moorish Science Temple know that shit, but they got people coming in and becoming part of the Moorish Empire and know it's been usurped by Jesuit priests who have been pretending to be Moors since the 40s. Look, Kalima. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna get on up out of here. Marvin Jones, y'all put the word out with your friends. Let them know what it is. Let them know what's going on around here. Y'all hit me up if y'all want to daughter your ebooks. If you emailing me and you want some books, I email you the book list. You pick what you want. Let me know what you want, and you can cash out me at mcjnetwork, and we'll get them to you. And if you want to check out my other lectures, you can hit me up at the Mail Now Order. And also, if you just want to donate and support, you can hit me up at MCJ Network. And I'm out. Peace.